Thank you once again for joining us on Live with Shatuka. We continue to give you updates of what is happening in the nation, around our Southern African countries, Africa, and the whole world. We are looking at an issue that was making rounds in social media in the past days, where there were quite a lot of complaints about a Winky D show that was announced to have been cancelled. And information that is now being revealed is that Kuda Tagwirei is behind the cancellation of the Winky D show after paying Hicc US 240,000. And this remains one of the main issues that are worrisome, especially in Zimbabwe, where money is just being wasted. Money that could change people's lives is being wasted and used for political expedience. And this really is quite very unfortunate. Pindula reports that controversial businessman Kuda Tagwirei, through his foundation, paid the Rainbow Tourism Group US 245,000, leading to the cancellation of Winky Dee's New Year Eve performance at the Harare International Conference Center. So quite a lot of people spoke about this issue, with people asking what really is transpiring. And yet there was only one answer, that there was supposed to be a church service of some sort, which was supposed to take place at that particular time. And yet this is all the doing of Kuda Tagwirei. So this shows how much these controversial businessmen that are attached to Emmerson Mnangagwa are also sabotaging quite a lot of citizens, especially those that they think are supporting the opposition. Winky D has been known and coined by ZANU-PF as one who supports the opposition, as one who is speaking for change, as one who supports Nelson Chamisa. And because of that, Winky is always at the receiving end of ZANU-PF. You still remember some other years past where police came on stage and disturbed his show and took him away and things like that. The other time, ZANU-PF people threw some bottles of beer on the stage, and quite a lot of these disturbances that we continue to see happening when it comes to people that are wanted and liked, especially in Zimbabwe, by most people. So the painful thing that we continue to experience, like I was saying, is that the money is always being abused. These monies are monies that Mnangagwa is siphoning out of the government and out of the resources of the nation. And Kuda Tagwirei, like Wikino Shifayo, are the front men of Mnangagwa, who are just there to enjoy their money, and they just support ZANU-PF at any cost, because they know that ZANU-PF, as long as ZANU-PF is in power, they will continue to be making money. So this is their agenda, and that is what they are running with, and they don't care what happens to the people of Zimbabwe. The livelihood of the people of Zimbabwe is quite pathetic right now. When we look at hospitals, we look at situations like the drinking water, like we have been talking about the issue of Mkuvisi, with Mkuvisi having been poisoned so seriously, and yet it is supposed to be supplying water to the residents of Harare. And yet nobody cares about this. Why can't we be having these people donating money maybe to the municipality, or buy chemicals that are needed to purify water, and they help millions of Zimbabweans that are in Harare? But they don't want to do that. You can't see them putting their money on anything that really has to benefit majority of Zimbabweans. In fact, they would rather use money to sabotage anything that Zimbabwean people would want to do, especially if they deem that this thing is promoting change in Zimbabwe. So this is quite sad and very pathetic for the people of ZANU-PF, and how much they've continued to fight against the will of the people of Zimbabwe. But unfortunately, they may continue to do this, thinking that they will get away with it, but they will not get away with it. Our fight is still continuing, no matter how much they might try to frustrate us. But we are not going to be giving up, because our country is only one. We only have one country, which happens to be Zimbabwe. There is no other country that we know of There's no other home that we have. People could have moved out of Zimbabwe and gone into the diaspora, gone into different parts of the world, but they will still not forget home. Home will remain home, and everyone would is already planning to come back home one of the fine days. So that's what causes our war to be on throughout, to fight and fight until victory is certain. So this is the problem that we continue to have of moneyed people in ZANU-PF who want to abuse money for the sake of promoting ZANU-PF and the oppression of ZANU-PF. But anyway, one thing that we know is that ZANU-PF is not going to be there for longer. Mnangagwa has already done enough damage to ZANU-PF, to himself as an individual, as well as to ZANU-PF. And now ZANU-PF is known as a monster party throughout Southern Africa. And nobody today would say they don't have the deep knowledge of what ZANU-PF represents. And that is the thing that we are saying is going to cause the implosion of ZANU-PF. Right now, we see the internal fights are getting worse and worse by the day, with them really fighting each other on social media, throwing stones at each other in different ways and means. But all this is a result of the selfishness, the arrogance of ZANU-PF. If ZANU-PF had continued to do things as according to the expectations of the Zimbabwean people, I don't think that the majority of Zimbabweans today will be wishing to see them gone. But because they failed to do it, Mnangagwa, given a very long rope, continues to spit right in the faces of the Zimbabwean people. And unfortunately, he is not going to succeed in what he has started. The war is on. Zimbabwean people, they know what they want. They know that they were going to be celebrating Winky D and, of course, chanting slogans of change. And that is what hurts these ZANU-PF people, to the extent of wanting to use money to the tune of 240,000 US dollars. That's a lot of money just to be splashed away by one individual. I don't know what it is that he wants to do after trying to block Winky D, or whether Winky has continued to be blocked. I'm not sure the development later on, but that was what happened during that time, where many people were asking questions, what has happened? Winky has always been booking this place and without having any challenges. So what has happened this time around? And the HICC people did not have answers, because they knew what had happened, that it involves ZANU-PF. So whenever they hide information, they'll be trying to protect themselves, because ZANU-PF is a brutal animal that can go after them again and destroy them. So this is what it is, family. Let's continue to pray for freedom for Zimbabwe, and freedom is indeed coming.